Water Country is arguably the most well-known water park in all of New England. Located in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, this 26-acre park originally opened in 1984, but for the past 2 decades it has been operated by Palace Entertainment, which is a subdivision of Parques Reunidos. While this water park is now owned by a chain, it still feels like a family park in a lot of areas. In this video, I will be reviewing Water Country and explaining why this is a very cool spot when the sun is blazing and the summer gets hot. If those words sound familiar, that's probably because you've heard this park's infectious theme song featured in all of their commercials. If you've never heard it, here you go.
When the sun is blazing and the summer gets hot, Water Country's a very cool spot. There's no better place to feel and be young. Water Country, have some fun.
Not to be confused with Virginia's Water Country, the Portsmouth, New Hampshire one is one of the pricier water parks out there. Daily admission without any discounts costs roughly $45 as of 2021, although you can get a discount if you buy in advance online. Or you can do what I did and purchase a Palace Entertainment Platinum Pass, because it also gets you into a few other parks in New England, such as Storyland and Lake Compounds. On top of the entrance cost, you also need to pay $10 to park. And the road into the park is quite interesting. After paying to park, you drive down this swampy dirt road through the woods. It feels like you've taken a wrong turn, but this is in fact how you get to the parking lot. And fittingly, the general parking lot is an unpaved field of grass and dirt. The woodsy feel is maintained in several areas of the park. The outer perimeter of Water Country is extremely well shaded. It is rare to see that many trees in a water park. The park as a whole looks good. It starts with the entry plaza. The park sign is framed next to a waterfall from the lazy river. And then the slides look decent too. The park has a mix of slides, both old and new. And in general, the slides get newer as you progress further into the park. Some of the older slides do have duller paint schemes, but they have been repainting the older slides one by one with more vibrant paint schemes, and I suspect this will continue, which will only give the park more life. One of the best parts about Water Country is the staff. They are among the friendliest I've encountered anywhere. All of them were smiling and joking with guests. They all seemed to be genuinely happy to be working there. In fact, they were a little too friendly to a fault. There was one situation on Patriot, the park's speed slide, where a guest stood at the top for 10 minutes frozen with fear. The employee spent all that time encouraging the guest to try Patriot, which caused the line to grind to a halt. That really isn't something you'd see at a larger park where they would have ushered that guest away in order to keep the line moving. But thankfully what I saw at Patriot was an isolated incident. In general, the staff working the slides were very efficient. They'd have the next guest ready to dispatch as soon as they got the all clear. I've only visited on hot summer weekdays, and most slides have no more than a 10 to 15 minute wait, but there are 2 exceptions. Dragon's Den, which is the park's bowl slide, and Dr. Von Dark's, which is the park's funnel slide, will have the 2 longest lines by far. These slides have had 30 to 45 minute waits whenever I've visited, but since they're in the very back of the park right next to each other, it is possible to ride them with no wait if you head there first thing in the day. And one other note in these 2 slides is that you can only ride in pairs. Just keep that in mind if you're visiting solo or with an odd-numbered group. But to be honest, I would not recommend riding Dr. Von Dark at all. It is my least favorite water slide of all time. I've ridden a few of these mini funnel slides before, and I've enjoyed them, but this one is different. This one is brutal. The initial turn is great. It pulls some good G's, and then you rapidly speed into darkness. Usually, I like when a slide is pitch black, but here, it causes pain. If you've never ridden these mini funnel slides, you suddenly decelerate when you enter those funnels. The change in motion in the funnel is extremely abrupt and violent. I've ridden this slide twice, and both times I've collided heads with my fellow rider, and it wasn't a light tap either. It was a hard slam. My fiance's family had the same issue with this slide, so it's not an isolated incident either. I will never ride this slide again, and take caution if you decide to ride. The rest of Water Country's slide lineup is pretty good and well-rounded. They have slides for kids, families, and thrill seekers, and they have most major slide types too. The only major slide style they're missing is a water coaster, and I'm hoping that's something the park considers in the future because a few of the Palace water parks have them already and they're great rides there. My favorite slide at Water Country is Patriot, the aforementioned speed slide. This slide stands 58 feet, or 18 meters tall. While it's not as tall as some of the other freefall slides out there, it's pretty steep, and you can momentarily feel yourself lift off the slide. The ride is over in an instant, but it's a fast adrenaline rush. And it's one of the smoothest speed slides out there too, which does make sense because it's new. For many years, Patriot's spot was home to a nearly identical freefall slide named Double Geronimo, which as the name suggests, consisted of two water slides side by side. When Water Country replaced the aging slide with Patriot, they only installed one slide. While it is a bummer to lose the racing aspect, the extra capacity definitely wasn't necessary based on my visits. Lower down in Patriot's Tower are a trio of body slides uncreatively named the Triple Water Slides. These are some of the park's oldest slides, and you can definitely tell. They're slower paced, and you can really feel the joints in between slide pieces. Next door to this tower is the Double Dive Boggin, which is an older dual mat racing slide. This one has larger and steeper drops than the newer ones, so while it is over in a flash, you get some fantastic speed. The rest of the slide lineup is dominated by tube slides. Dragon's Den is the best of the bunch. This tube slide has a great initial plunge as it's decently tall and fast, and then you spin around a misty toilet bowl with a menacing dragon above the exit. I love how Water Country plus this otherwise common slide to make it memorable. Shoot and Screamer are two additional tube slides with large drops. Screamer is an open slide that goes straight down. It is one of the largest drops you'll find on any tube slide. Meanwhile, Shoot is an enclosed double down. Neither slide offers airtime, but the speedy drops are quite zippy. Another slide tower has Black Hole and Warp 8. Black Hole is a weird one. It's another pitch black slide that has a solid spiral at the start and a decent drop at the end, but the middle has these weird bumps that splash you and slow you down. They feel like pseudo trim brakes, to be honest. Meanwhile, Warp 8 is your average tube slide with some decent turns and small dips in a translucent tube. Towards the main entrance, you have some open tube slides in Plunge and Racing Rapids. Both slides are rather slow, but the wide turns have a tendency to spin your tube backwards, and Plunge has a decently large drop at the end for some variety, which is why it's called what it is. Lastly, you have the Family Raft Slide Tower with Thunder Falls and Wild Canyon. Thunder Falls is the open one. It starts slow, but it has some wild turns later in the ride where it feels like your raft will flip over because of how high you slide up the wall. Unfortunately, I have not ridden the dark one in Wild Canyon. It has been closed in all of my visits. If you want to relax, you have a sizable wave pool and a decent lazy river towards the front, plus several lounging areas, either out in the sun or in the shade depending on your preference. For kids, you have a variety of kiddie pools and water play structures scattered throughout the park. I like how they aren't in a single area so families can progress through the park together and still find attractions suitable for the youngest kids. I've never gotten anything to eat at Water Country, but most of the food stands are towards the lockers, which logistically makes sense. Of the New England water parks, I prefer Whale's Tail and Six Flags New England's Hurricane Harbor because both those parks have better thrill slides. But I think Water Country might be New England's best water park for families, given how plentiful and deep their slide lineup is. It's a solid water park if you're in New England, but not one I'd prioritize if you're coming from a distance. So those are my thoughts on Portsmouth, New Hampshire's Water Country. What are your thoughts on this water park? How do you think it compares to the other water parks in New England? If you've enjoyed this review, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.